Come with us on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real people and hear real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Aha! We're back! Welcome to Ghost Chronicles Next Generation. And I am Ron Kolek, your host, the gatekeeper around with the unknown, the unexplained, the unbelievable, the mystical, the magical, the macabre. New England's own Van Helsing, and with me somewhere over there is the, oh, there she is, the blonde bombshell herself, Anne Kerrigan.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show, and have we got a great show for you tonight.
We kind of tipped it off
so
with the
excited.
backdrop, you know.
We're going to talk to this doll all night. You're going to love it.
Is it really?
Or half of her is gone. Little bit of keying out there going on. But anyways.
I like that.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah,
Stop looking at yourself.
I'm looking at the doll, not myself. I just wanted to see if she was moving or not, that's all. Anyways, yeah, this is exciting. Anyways, we're pleased to be back in the studio again.
Yes.
And we're starting off with some great guests.
We have guests.
Yes.
Everybody's like, thank God, we're getting so tired of your paranormal road trips.
Thing was long, yeah. we are talking with the new, the young bloods in the paranormal.
Yes.
The Kardashians of the paranormal.
Oh, that's terrible.
Is it?
Don't introduce them like that.
Steve came up with that. Not
Awful.
me. I blame Steve, not me.
No.
The paranormal couple, let's just do it that way. I really can't remember Cody's name now. Cody, DesBiens, and Satori.
Beautiful.
Hawes. Yay.
Oh.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God,
Thanks
we're
for
so
coming, guys.
excited.
I know. It's been a while, and we're happy to be back. This is our first time.
Yes,
Yeah.
my first time.
I don't know how many times. This
I
has
met
been.
you once at the Ocean State Paracouple.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
When I went up to Cody and asked him, sorry to hear about his mother passing, which was wrong.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's me.
Really?
Yes. I goofed. All right.
Are we going to show, can we show our guests, please?
Oh yeah.
In there, in the studio? There
Oh,
they are.
yeah.
Thank you. That's great. They're
You're-
just talking
You're gonna be
voices.
looking around me now all the time. Anyways,
Oh, my
thank you guys
God.
for being here. And Cody is actually, you've been on TV now, right?
Yeah.
A few times.
A few times. Yeah. I know. Since we last talked, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing TV wise?
So Satori and myself did a few episodes of Ghost Nation. We've
Ghost
been.
Nation.
Yep. So that's been fun. Getting to travel a little bit, which has been cool. And we've also been working on some other upcoming projects that we can't talk about yet.
That's
but
fine.
there's definitely.
We'll have to kill you.
Hush,
Yeah.
hush, hush,
Yep.
hush.
So
Doll will.
I know, right? And then just busy with all of this stuff, just keeping busy as much as we can, and just having fun too,
You know, we just did the international show with Steve Parson, who has been around forever.
Yeah.
And I've pretty much been around forever.
Yeah.
And ever in a day.
A year or two.
Yeah, and we're talking about, it's time for the new bloods to take over, guys like you and Satori, or couples like you, I guess it would be a better use of the term. But yeah, it's good to have a new and exciting group of paranormal investigators coming onto the scene.
That's great. Yeah, I'd love to hear that, and we like to see people our age getting involved with it too, and that's why we're trying to really push ourselves on the formats that this generation's paying attention to, like TikTok and stuff like that, because
I thought that was for dancing.
I know, right? That's what I thought too. But I was like,
That's what we thought.
when the whole pandemic hit, we were like, okay, we're bored. We have to figure out something to do. So we're like, okay, let's try this out. And so we just started talking about the paranormal, doing paranormal videos and just 30-second clips, and it just blew up. And we got over 100,000 people following us
Oh
within
my
like
On
3
TikTok,
months.
And you weren't dancing?
No, we
No,
didn't dance
weren't.
once.
Actually, we had to. It was a lot of educating because a lot of people our age try to look for the thrill-seeking side of the paranormal and just
yeah.
try to get scared and
Yes.
scare people. So it's nice to actually kind of try to share information and theories in the actual paranormal field.
Russ, can we have a foreshot by any chance? Is that possible? That would be
Are
nice.
we all there? There
There
we
we go.
Yay.
That's it. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, Russ. Yeah, it's we don't get the detail, but in my case, that's a good idea. But yeah, so I mean, TikTok, that's neat. And 100,000 hits you, something like that, or you said whatever.
Yeah, 100,000 people
Followers.
started following us. Yeah, within like 3 months, which was crazy. It just blew
Sweet.
up. It just blew up
Wow.
for some reason.
And
So
what were
Very
you
nice.
doing on it?
we were just talking about different paranormal things. We do live streams on there, and
That's so cool.
yeah, as far as the museum stuff, so the museum kind of started by accident, and it started through this.
We were going to get to that, but that's
Yeah.
okay. We like to know
Well, I
about
beat you
you
to it.
first, but yeah, but you know.
Yeah, but that's well. I'll save the
We're
I'll
here
save
for
it
an
for your
hour.
questions then. But that's how it got started. Just talking about this stuff, and people wanted to send us stuff, which was really interesting. So
Whether we asked for it or not.
Nah.
I know, they just started getting the
It was
address.
very random.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. One of the things about the museum is where the stuff came from. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know, as being around as long as I have, people have sent me stuff and
Sure,
stuff like that.
yeah.
And you go to you do an investigation. Some people say, "Here, take this out of my oven."
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
thank you. I like
Like
that one.
marijuana.
That's good. Look what I got, Mom.
Marijuana.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a small collection of things that I got that same way through either taps cases or private cases, and it was just my little office decoration. You know what I mean? I would just keep them down there, and then everything just kind of blew up after that, and now we have over 300 and something.
Do you
and growing.
really?
We get a
Oh,
box in the
yes.
mail
Yeah.
pretty much every week
And
with something in it.
Where
Sometimes
do you
they don't have
store 'em?
stories.
Satori.
Yeah.
Or is it? Who gets it? I don't know who gets it.
So they're stored in an outbuilding at my property, and but right now it's a traveling thing for the next 3 years. So everything gets stored in this big truck, and then it travels to different haunted locations around the
That's awesome.
country, and then we set up all the exhibits. Each object goes in its own exhibit, tribal exhibit, and around the world exhibit, a religious section. So it's definitely a big collection of things that kind of suits everybody that is kind of interested in the strange. You know what I mean? We have
Yeah.
Bigfoot stuff and cryptozoology stuff.
That's
so
cool.
so
Neat.
a little bit of everything for everybody that's interested in the paranormal.
So this was funny. So we were waiting for them to arrive earlier, and Nate and I, Nate, our Paranews guy, he's always here. He's always on crew too. So we're waiting, and like I hear beep beep. I'm like, oh, I don't know, how much they're bringing in or whatever. So the truck goes by the door, and Cody beeps, and I'm like, oh, they're here, they're here. Oh, they're here. We're so excited. And what is it? Okay, so is it a camper? Is it an ambulance? What did it used to be?
Oh, I'm missing something here.
You missed the vehicle, the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah, it's outside.
truck.
So it used to belong to a cable company, and
Ah,
it was
okay.
to work on the wires and stuff like that
Uh-huh.
locally. So it used to be white, and then we had it painted black and
It
had the
looks
logos
cool.
put on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it had to be black
We'll have
instead
to
of
take
white.
pictures
So,
after
Yeah.
wait a
the
minute.
show or something.
That's always been one of my annoying points.
Yeah.
Just one?
Yeah, I know. Well, why does it always have to be black? Every shirt on a paranormal
That's right.
investigation
Every
team
shirt is black.
Every
True.
hat that they wear, black.
It is.
I
I
mean,
agree.
why?
I agree. Why? I know exactly. But it fit the theme for what we were doing. So and
No,
people
I
like it.
no, I understand.
Black is a happy color.
Oh, like look how cool this.
Doesn't that,
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, everybody's got to wear black.
No, I agree.
Oh, yes.
I agree. It seems like it's the color of the macabre and everything else. You know what I mean? But would you pay attention to the truck just as much as if it was pink?
Pink, I would.
Yeah. Would you?
Yeah, you betcha.
I guess you would have missed
paint
it.
pink.
Dang it! I should have done that.
Oh, that's
The,
funny. But I did wonder. I drove by. I'm like, all right, what did it used to be? Because it looks cool.
Yeah.
I like the black though. Like you can see on our screen behind us. It's just a really cool logo. I love the logo. It's got the orange in it, so it makes me think Halloween-y,
Yeah.
which of course I love 100%
Yeah, I'll have to
year
see it.
round. But I love the logo. Who did your logo? Logo's great.
So a gentleman by the name of Eric Gerard, and he has a local team in Rhode Island, and this is what he does. This is his job, is designing logos. So he
Yeah, I love it.
he wanted to tackle that part, and he
We
did a great job.
we just contacted him and said, we're looking for a logo and we wanted to say this. And he went, say no more. And we didn't give him any information. He just came up with all these logos and it was amazing.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
there's like little
God.
hidden things in it. There's like a spirit in the window, and then there's a butterfly hidden in there for Satori. Satori loves
Aw.
butterflies, and there's a dragonfly for me.
Me too, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So weird.
So yeah, yeah, that is strange. Wow, that's cool. So yeah, they came out great. He did a great job, and yeah, if you're looking for a logo, go to Eric, I guess.
Now,
It's very
I have to
eye-catching.
admit that Anne, I have to give her credit because when she went to put together this backdrop for you, she started looking for your sites, and you had a round one, she said, and then she had
Yeah.
another. But anything she put on here, we would lose it. We had a hard time.
too
doing
low.
it. So tell me your journey.
Oh yeah, and I was I was telling Cody and Satori when they came in as well. So they have also a lovely round logo with their silhouettes in the middle of it.
I haven't seen
I
that
like
one.
that one as well. And
So it's like Alfred Hitchcock.
so
Kind of, yeah.
it's
little
kind of
bit.
it looks like a cog, like it's
Yeah,
like a cog,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
So it's a little steampunky. I think you
Right.
kind of have like a cog-like thing in
Right.
the background here. So, but that one wasn't big enough, so it was like too little. And then I had a different version of the one we have behind us, and it was too low. And then, so I finally found another one, cropped it, and got it up high enough so we could all read it.
Awesome. That's
So there it is.
Looks great.
That's awesome.
The,
glad.
yeah, interesting, the silhouettes, because, silhouettes go back to, all the olden days when, well, my olden days. When they used to cut out pictures of people and put them in photographs, or not photographs, pictures on the wall. And,
Cameos.
so
like
Frame
kind
them,
of,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that was a big
beautiful.
deal. Yeah, cameos, yeah.
Neat.
That's
So
wonderful.
that kind of fits to that past, because the paranormal and the past go hand in hand.
That's right.
Yeah, history and paranormal, so.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. All right, so the Haunted Museum, are you guys going to be anywhere soon, or
Yeah, so
Halloween's coming up? You got to be somewhere.
absolutely, yeah.
Everywhere, I
So
hope.
the next big museum event is actually this weekend in Connecticut, right over the line in Bosra, Connecticut. It's actually at a location where we filmed an episode of Ghost Nation at. It's an old antique store, so it's a perfect place. The place definitely has activity, and we're basically transforming half of this antique store with all of the exhibits. And people can come in throughout the weekend and just have a general admission look around the museum. Or they can, investigate with them in the evening time.
Oh, that's cool.
And then we have a bunch of different events where we bring approximately 8 objects to different libraries in the New England area.
Awesome.
So we have about 30 of those coming up between now and the end of October.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
it's going to be
busy.
busy.
Yeah. Busy but worth it.
Really
So-
busy.
My question is, how did you guys meet?
How did we meet?
Yeah.
You want to tell that story?
Okay. So Cody was actually part of TAPS for multiple years. How many years before
At
you
least
joined?
4, I think, before you joined, yeah.
Yes.
I was friends with your dad before you.
Yes, actually. So he was on the team.
I don't want to touch that.
I was interested, since I was older, I was like, okay, I want to try to do professional cases. Because I had investigated when I was younger. It was something that I always did
How
in
young?
my family.
How young kid?
As soon as I was able to hold a flashlight, I was trying to investigate my own house.
Ah.
It was just something that I always loved, and I wanted to be like my dad. So my dad recommended maybe it was time for me to join the team. So I had reached out to the case manager of the team, and she wanted me to come to their first event, actually at the place we are doing an event in Bosra, Connecticut. And it was my first investigation event. And I was getting ready to go, and I get a message from Cody, and he goes, "Hi, I hear you're thinking about joining the team. I'm going that way anyway. I'll pick you up and bring you to the event."
Oh.
Little did I know he actually drove an hour off route to come and pick me up and take
Liar.
me to an event. We
Smooth talking, you. I like
did.
that.
I made my move.
we clicked as best friends for a long while, and then we started collecting, and we realized, hey, we're both single, and we spend so much time together, and it just kind of went from there. We decided that we were better as a couple than apart.
Aww.
So how long you been
That's
a
awesome.
couple?
Well, officially,
Officially.
about 2 years now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and it's been interesting. So when Satori and myself started working together, of course we were always partnered up from the beginning on TAPS cases. We started noticing that strange stuff would happen. I think it's when living energies, certain living energies meet.
Yep.
I think it's almost like completing the circuit, and the light bulb switch turns on for some reason and kind of draws this stuff in a little closer. And the other investigators on the team started noticing that when we were paired together, more activity would happen if the location was active. So this absolutely intrigued us, of course. So we started experimenting with it, and we found when we hold hands, it really escalates the whole experience for some reason. So
But yeah.
yeah,
There you
so
go.
it
Take
just
that.
yeah, it really it was really interesting and something that I had never experienced before until I met her, which was weird. But it works, and we definitely balance each other off.
Did you just call me weird?
We can play the tape back.
We have instant replay.
But yeah, I mean, we balance each other off great. She handles a lot of the more metaphysical side of things. I'm more technical, and it just meets in the middle.
Perfect.
So before we get into the Haunted Museum, I think I have one more question for the Satori.
All righty.
Oh no.
Yeah,
About-
watch
about
out.
Your dad.
You never know.
Okay.
Okay.
Your family and your dad.
Mhm.
Now, he's had a show forever, right?
Mhm.
And how
You
demanding?
make him sound old.
Let's put it this way: before he had his show, he and I were on the Aunt Mary Amarosa's show in New Jersey.
Oh, God.
That was before we had his show. So he's been around. Okay. So, is it demanding on a family?
You mean, being part of this field and having him do what he does? Is
Yeah,
that what
and
you mean?
having a regular show.
Yes. Well, it was something that he wasn't really for doing right away. It was something that he said, they brought the show idea to him. He had already had a team since 1990, and in the early 2000s, they were like, we wanted to start a show, bring paranormal to television. He wasn't really interested, honestly, at first. It took a couple of times and some time thinking before he went, if anybody was going to do it, he wanted himself to be able to do it, so it was done right instead of a bunch of people, getting scared all the time on camera. So from there, I guess we all didn't really think it was going to take off as much as it did, but everybody realized, hey, the paranormal can be talked about now, and it's something that should be pushed into the spotlight. And it really took off from there. So I guess it's a little demanding. Everybody was, it was such a big thing. Everybody
Right.
needed to see this and experience this. So he was gone quite often at first, but he always puts family first, so we're thankful for that.
That's cool.
And we're passing it down in the family too. So I guess my dad likes to say it's like he's passing down the staff to his children, and whoever takes it runs with it. And I'm trying to run with it as
Do you
much
have
as
any other
possible.
brothers and sisters?
Yes, I am one of 6.
Oh, God.
Oh,
So-
wow.
What were they, Catholic?
So I have 2 oldest sisters. They have appeared on Ghost Hunters and Ghost Nation. And then I have 3 younger brothers that aren't really interested in the paranormal. So, I mean, I think I'm very interested. Every day is something with the paranormal for
Being
me.
connected to him. you
I try.
Wow. That's
So,
a lot.
let's go a little bit into the Haunted Museum part. And I don't know, do we have any breaks coming up or anything?
Well, we should probably, about halfway through, probably we do have a Paranews. So,
I'll tell you what, why don't we run the Paranews now, and then we'll get into the museum and do it.
all right.
Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay.
We have a very special Paranews put together by our intrepid reporter, Nate Mayer. And if we can roll that now, that would be great.
Welcome to this edition of Paranormal News. During this installment, I'll be giving an overview of the Chucky movies as a refresher for the upcoming Chucky TV series that starts October 12th, 2021 on both the Sci-Fi and USA networks. Child's Play is about a widowed single mother who gives her son a much sought-after doll for his birthday, only to discover that the doll is possessed by the soul of a serial killer. Child's Play's generally creepy monster with some skillful direction by Tom Holland makes this chiller stand out on the shelf. 2 years later, after Andy Barclay's mother is admitted to a psychiatric hospital, Chucky is being resurrected and continues his pursuit to transfer his soul into the young Andy, who is placed in foster care. This handsomely produced sequel is an effective slasher and fan favorite. Although released only 9 months after Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3 takes place 8 years later, when Chucky returns for revenge against Andy, the young boy who defeated him, and who is now a teenager living in a military academy. Andy must face not only Chucky, but also society's will for youth and the pressures of toxic masculinity. Chucky is an animatronic delight, and the film has good acting. 1 month after the events of Child's Play 3, but released 7 years later, Chucky, the doll possessed by a serial killer, discovers the perfect mate Tiffany, his former lover and accomplice, to kill and revive into the body of another doll. The Grisly Bride of Chucky is full of mayhem and grotesque humor, and a surprisingly affecting tale of pint-sized love and dismemberment. Seed of Chucky is set 6 years later, when Chucky and Tiffany are resurrected by their innocent, gender-confused son Glenn, or daughter Glenda, in hit Hollywood, where a movie depicting the killer doll's murder spree is underway. Seed of Chucky is emotionally honest and entertainingly funny in its seedy way. 9 years after Seed of Chucky, and 4 years after its epilogue, Chucky is delivered to a family with whom he shares a mysterious connection. Nika, after her mother's death, begins to suspect that the talking red-headed doll her visiting niece has been playing with may be the key to the recent bloodshed and chaos. The pacing and writing of Curse of Chucky creates a fun, blood-soaked jaunt that never gets dull. 4 years after Curse of Chucky, Chucky returns to terrorize his human victim, Nika, who is confined to an asylum for the criminally insane. Meanwhile, the killer doll has some scores to settle with his old enemies with the help of his former wife. Cult of Chucky is a gore fest that contains surprisingly suspenseful moments which bode well. Please note, the Child's Play 2019 reboot will not be discussed because it's not part of this Chucky story timeline. After a vintage Chucky doll turns up at a suburban yard sale, an idyllic American town is thrown into chaos as a series of horrifying murders begin to expose the town's hypocrisies and secrets.
I never knew there were so many Chucky movies.
Why?
I know why. I don't even think I've seen one. Not one.
Money.
You know what's creepy though?
What?
My son has that My Buddy. I gave
My Buddy?
You know, Chucky's based on the My Buddy doll from like the 90s. It was late 80s, early 90s. I don't even know.
Whatever.
But my in-laws gave it to him as a Christmas gift, and he's up in the attic. I'm like, I gotta get rid of that thing.
No, you don't.
Oh
No,
God,
you don't.
it's creepy.
You got it?
Yeah.
I'll take it. You kidding me? I'll put it with the rest of
I
the
should
dolls.
keep it and terrorize my son someday.
Oh, there you
Hey,
go,
I used to
even
play
better.
with this.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Anyways,
we are
we're
back
back.
with the paranormal couple.
Thank you, Nate.
Couple. Right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
they
we
are a couple.
Yeah. I know, but I was.
Okay.
Never mind. Anyway, I forgot where the heck I was. Oh yeah, we were talking during the break. We were talking about that stupid Geico commercial or something, right? Satori was laughing at it. It's like the kids-
Satori, not Santori.
Did I say Satori?
I'll
Yes.
answer to anything. It's
That
fine.
was
Oh my
so
God!
close.
I knew he was going to screw it
close.
up.
That was so close. That was like a slip, one little brain connection.
Satori.
You know.
Satori. Put them
How
all
many times
together.
I
How
got
do you
your
say
name-
it?
How many times I got your name wrong? Fine,
I don't
fine.
know. Sometimes he forgets.
Stacy was a member of my team for years and years and years. I called her Tracy for like 3 years.
Ron, we love you.
There's a student, right, in my class, a paranormal CSI class, gone to my events. He took the class. He gave me a freaking $200 EDI meter, and I still have his name wrong.
And you still don't know his name?
No, I call him Steve, and his name is John.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
So he
great.
answers
I
by
bet
the
he's
name
glad he
Steve
gave
now.
you that lovely gift.
He answers by the name Steve now. So.
Oh my
Sounds
Lord.
like you. You call
I
people
forget
other
names.
names.
Do you?
Oh,
Do you?
yeah.
He does.
Oh, we are a lot alike than I thought.
I guess so.
You are.
So you guys,
Brothers by different mothers.
oh, centuries apart.
Something apart, yeah, but that still is possible.
But I did want to. So you guys aren't just like in the New England area either, because you were out in Wyoming. Did I see that on
Seriously?
your page? You're like all over,
Oh
right?
yeah, we were in Nebraska or Iowa at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were.
Someplace out there.
Yeah,
Somewhere where the
somewhere.
corn is, yeah.
Land
Somewhere.
of the cornfields. We were out there.
Ooh,
Wow.
cornfields.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, right?
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah, we definitely,
So you travel.
we've definitely been traveling a lot for sure.
So hop in the truck and.
Take the van and you
Yeah,
go.
oh yeah, we go. Yeah, that's why we bought the truck because we didn't want to take any of the stuff
I'm
on a
not taking
plane.
Stuff on a plane.
Oh no, God! Imagine if it got lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The poor fool that opens up a suitcase and finds a bunch of like,
Imagine.
cursed or haunted objects.
Are you kidding me?
weird.
What's bring cursed items on a freaking plane?
I know.
That's why we have a truck.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, the truck works out great. So
That
yeah.
is a great idea.
Yeah.
And
Very
you know,
cool.
I mean,
Yes.
well, you
He's
know, I think
speechless.
I am. I was thinking about, you know, the haunted items are really popular now. It
They
seems
are,
like there
absolutely.
seems to be phases of the paranormal. You know, it's like we can't get scared enough this way. We got to go get scared somewhere else. So I mean,
Right.
you know, the Zaffis had the museum for
Yep.
like 6,000 years. Or
That's
however
right.
old he
Pretty
is.
close
Oh,
to
it
that.
still
Yeah.
has it, right?
Yeah, he does. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Still there.
And then, of course, who's the guy that wears the mask? Oh, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach, he's got his haunted doohickey museum there, or whatever it is.
Yep.
And he touches haunted items and doesn't die. Much to my dismay.
Oh, stop.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Just
I'm sorry.
stop, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever. Moving right on. So, I mean, it is a very timely thing to do. And
It is.
I love them myself. Steve loves them. Anybody, I think, in the field has always been intrigued. And so it's a great idea to put a whole train of them together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely an in thing right now. I think it's because a lot of the Hollywood movies and stuff that are coming out. I mean, dolls are definitely the most
Oh my
popular thing
goodness.
right now. Probably because of the Annabelle movies.
We will get dolls, people in person that think these dolls are haunted and they're terrified, or people will just send them to us without any indication of why, or just very random,
Yeah.
because they think it's haunted. And not all of our objects have proven their claims in our
Oh, yeah.
museum,
Yeah,
but it
we're
just
always-
keeps growing.
Yeah, we're always very straightforward with everything. We always have surveillance cameras running in the museum
That's what I was
24/7.
gonna
Oh,
ask you
that's
do
cool.
have it.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
So, you got anything?
We've definitely recorded a few clips for sure that are one of them
I'm
is.
not talking about balls or light out.
Oh no.
No.
We've
Talk about
yeah, I
things
can
coming to
probably
life
pull
and
one up
moving.
after for you. Yeah, for
Really?
sure. Oh yeah.
Is that part of your
Yeah.
presentation?
Yeah. Right at the end we show a couple videos and that's
Sweet.
one of them. It's chilling every time I
That's
see one.
creepy.
The one with the doll. She literally sits herself up, moves over, and sits back down again.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
At 2:30 in the morning too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got a motion alert on my phone that something was moving, and
That's sweet.
Oh,
yeah, I'll show it
that-
to you. Yeah, it's
I'd
crazy.
love to see that.
Yeah, but it seems to be the in thing now, and that's what seems like that's what people paid attention to when we were doing on live streams. We talk about everything, and then it would always come back to the objects for some reason. So that's what people love. So we just stuck with it, and we're not the first people to do this. Obviously, there's
Not
been
the only, and we
tons
won't be
of
the
people.
last.
And thankfully, we become great friends with a lot of other collectors. I mean,
The Warren
Satori's dad,
Museum.
yeah, the Warren Museum reached out
Zappos.
to us. Zappos has been friends with, Satori's dad for years, and so it's great to have all these contacts,
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, especially today with social media and everything else. I mean, you look at Bob Murch and this Ouija
Yeah.
board.
Oh, yeah.
Now there's a whole group of them together that are now all collectors, all things.
Talking
they,
Board
they talk,
Society.
they trade boards, they sell.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing, and they compare notes, and I think it's a great thing. That's the good thing about social media.
Yeah.
The bad thing about social media is all the crap they post on
Yeah.
it. Like, I've got, is my house haunted? I've got balls of light going through it. This is a real, you can listen to it and you'll hear a voice say, "You're gonna die!"
So what was your, do you remember what your first haunted item was?
Yes. So the first item that I ever got is a painting of Christ. It's probably about this big,
Of course.
and it belonged to my family. It was passed down. It belonged to my great-grandfather. It was brought over from Italy in the, I want to say, late 1800s. And when he was on his deathbed, he would pray to this thing every single night.
Oh my
It
God.
was hanging up in his bedroom. He would pray to it every single night. And then when he was, approaching his last days here on Earth, he was extremely scared to die. And he prayed to this painting one
Was he
night.
in the mafia? That was the problem.
No, can't say that.
You have to kill
No
me.
comments. But he would pray to this thing every night, and extremely scared. And one night he claimed that the painting, just started talking to him and moving on its own, and saying that you have nothing to worry about, and everything's going to be okay. You're going to have a peaceful transition, and you're going to be okay, and your family's going to be waiting for you. That's the story that was told to me. And after that, he was okay with passing away. So when he passed away, it went to my grandfather, and my grandfather passed away at the house I live in now, and the painting was hanging up in his bedroom, and he prayed to it every night and claimed to have a very similar experience in his last days on hospice in our house. And I remember him, reaching up, which is, a big claim with hospice people, reaching up in the air. He said he saw his mother come. He said the painting was talking to him again. And when he passed away, I got the painting, and it hasn't talked to me yet, which I'm happy, because it seems like it only talks to
Yeah,
people.
You're on the way out.
Yeah, you got a long way before
Right.
he's going
Yeah.
to talk to you, I hope.
So,
Oh my God.
so that's hanging up, and that's going to be in the traveling exhibit too.
Oh,
That is
that's cool.
That is
Yeah.
really cool.
Wow.
Now, we had talked, Steve and I were talking on the international show, we were talking about oral history, which this is oral history,
Yeah.
told from one person to another in a family. And these early tribes of Indians, well, I can't say that anymore, Native Americans,
Americans.
thank you, and Native Alaskans and everything, that was their history. This was passed on. And it wasn't like stories, it was history.
Yeah.
In other words, whatever it was said, that was believed.
Right.
And to me, I take a lot of credence into that. Like that story you just told me, that was passed on in your family.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure it was told
very cool.
before, it was made public anywhere, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that has much more credence than, selling my grandfather's ghost on eBay. Like, do you remember
Exactly.
that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
I think that was the first haunted item that I remember being sold.
I did. Yeah. And now, oh geez, now it's a dime a dozen.
Yeah, I
And
know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
why
crazy.
not?
So
And they
that's the problem with
get up there.
haunted items.
Exactly.
Is you don't have the certification or you don't.
Authentication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. We actually talked about that. Should certify objects with this. How they have EVPs, A, B, and C.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is
Classified,
certified A-class haunted object. This is certified B-class haunted. This is certified
By the
crap.
experts. Certified by the experts.
Yeah, by
Oh, my
experts,
goodness.
exactly. So you could do that.
Yeah.
So the paranormal, you got enough of them. You're dealing with them. You can give out certifications, a little certificate. The paranormal company certifies that this is a Class A haunted item.
That's cool. Well, we definitely have a top 10 for sure out of the hundreds, and
Oh, that's good. That's what I wanted to
Two
hear
of them
about.
are here. Yeah, one sitting next to you, and
One sitting on the table.
yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been haunted for years.
So, I mean, this has been sitting here since the beginning. So,
Yes.
can you tell me a little bit about this Lovely little girl.
And we're sorry she's half keyed out because she's just got the right color green outfit on.
Don't apologize.
So half of
It
her
makes
is
it-
gone.
It makes it more spooky. Imagine if her head was green.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure she would love that.
Tell us about this
Does it have a
lovely
name?
doll.
Yes.
Does
Cla-
she
a
have a name?
clown doll.
Is
It
no
is,
question.
yeah.
Is it
People
is a
hate
she,
clowns.
right?
Yeah,
it's
it's a she.
Okay.
Her name is Jolene. And
Jolene.
yep,
Jolene.
exactly.
Satori.
Don't steal my
Jolene.
man.
She had actually come from a preschool in Connecticut.
Oh.
Just a quick summary of the story. The preschool owner had brought this item in. She thought it was a great toy for all the children to play with in the toy section.
Well, she is cute.
She
I will
is.
say that. She's very cute.
The children loved her immediately, would share toys with her, talk to her like an imaginary friend, which was all just completely normal to the preschool teachers and the owner until the children became hysterical and started claiming that Jolene was calling them names and was refusing to share with
Yeah,
them.
calling them ugly. I
Yes,
think.
names that they shouldn't be hearing at their age. So
no.
the preschool owner thought, okay, that's a little strange, sat her on the chair she usually sits in and left. She had come back the next day to notice that Jolene was no longer sitting in the chair. She was across the room in the toy section surrounded by toys. That made her very uncomfortable. So she called the other teachers and asked if it was a prank, and they said, you were the only one with the key locking up, so how are you able to do that? How are we able to prank you? So she said, okay, if it happens again, we'll deal with it when we get there. She didn't like the paranormal. She put it back on the chair, came back, left, came back, and she moved again across the room. The preschool teacher was not for that. So she had actually contacted us soon after, told us, okay, this doll looks like this. She's in that room. Go get it. And that's when we came in and took her.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
and we,
my
we
God.
love to try getting the objects in person. I mean, the first thing when somebody contacts us, the first thing is, okay, this is the address you send it. We want you. The goal isn't to take the object. The goal is to try to calm the situation down first and foremost. And a lot of times, a lot of these objects mean a lot to somebody, especially a family. And we don't want your family heirlooms and stuff like that.
Right.
So we try giving people, different options to try. Maybe move the item out of the living space, and that usually calms things down right away, and people don't have to send it to us. But it just shows a lot of authenticity in the story when a person wants to get rid of something that meant so much to them and their family. And so the whole museum has kind of been called like a nickname, like a foster home for a lot of these objects.
Sweet. I like that
Because
idea.
we've told all of these people that if you ever want them back at any point in time, just to give us a call, and it's your object.
Surprised they haven't said, oh, I can sell that on eBay.
I know, right? But to this day,
Give me
nobody
that
has
back.
called us back. And
Yeah, right.
and we went and picked up Jolene in person, and that's another reason why we got the truck, because it's a totally different situation when you're standing face to face with the person and seeing their facial expressions when they're telling you that they're scared in the story.
Yeah.
And their refusal to even look at the object.
Yeah. Oh,
do,
yeah.
do you videotape those?
Some of them we do. Some people, they just want nothing to do with
I
any
understand
of it.
it, yeah.
You know what I mean? They just
Right.
don't. They want, and even if we say, it's just for our case file, and we have a case file for every single object.
That's
and
excellent.
and we have a museum membership program where, I mean, some of the objects need temperature-controlled environments and stuff like
Really?
that. So, yeah, we have
You
some
got
Be a
ice
really
very
cool
cream
stuff.
old object.
We have some.
Haunted ice cream.
We have some artifacts that have been excavated in the Valley of the Kings, so that needs.
Really?
Oh my God.
Small, but yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still, it's cool. Yeah.
Right. So, so some of that stuff. So the museum membership program funds that stuff, and then we send a case file a month to the people that that are members, and a bunch of different other options and
So
stuff like
if
that.
somebody, evidently the membership to this museum is open. So how,
Yeah.
if somebody wanted to become a member, how could they?
Well, the membership program's through Patreon, and the easiest way to find it is probably just go to our website, paranormalcouple.com, and then there's a button you can click on. And there's a bunch of different tiers, but a membership program, you get a membership card, you get into the museum anywhere where it's traveling for free, as many times as you want. You get discounts on all the investigations and events that we're at. You get the case file a month for a different object every single month.
Autograph pictures.
That's in one of them, yeah. And Satori does a subscription box every single month that's filled with different spiritual things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and
that's cool.
The
What's
box
a
is made.
subscription box. What's that?
Yeah, so this subscription box, it's actually, Cody named it Satori Spiritual Subscription.
Oh.
And So my name is actually Buddhist. It means awakening and enlightenment. So I wanted something that kind of represented that. It's not necessarily a witchcraft box or anything like that, but it's fun. It has crystals, herbs, things I find like incense that I feel help open up the mind and calm people down, and things like that. So it's a really cute little box, and I like bringing it as an option for people every month. Sending them out.
Oh, I would love
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
Yeah, in each
Oh.
box.
Can you send
Actually.
one to Biden? He needs to calm down.
Stop. We're not going to be political on this show. No, not doing it.
Anywhere in Washington,
Hush.
then, all right? It doesn't
Okay,
have to be. I don't
fine.
care who it is. They
Let's-
all need it.
Let's
if you
not.
ask me.
Good. Everybody, we'll just douse
You
everybody
just
with.
chill. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we'll get the Van Helsing special spray.
Yeah.
We'll get the doll. No, she won't be haunted anymore then, but anyway. We'll get the doll. We'll have Satori's spiritual box and Van Helsing special spray. Maybe you should
deal.
put that in the box.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yes.
I wondered about the origin of your name because it is unusual. It's not something you hear every day. So it's
That's
Buddhist.
unusual.
That's cool.
Yes, it's kind of weird.
I thought it was Italian.
This
does
one's
sound
actually Satori is Japanese, and
Oh, so
it's
close.
yeah, and
Close,
it means enlightenment and inner awakening. And my dad fell in love with the name, and he kind of wanted at least one kid that had kind of a strange name, so he gave it to me.
Oh,
At
that's
least you
very
weren't called
nice.
Sky or
Uh,
Rainbow. Or
True.
oh my goodness.
all right, so
Yes.
you've had little Jolene here for how
Jolene.
long?
Oh, geez, probably about 3 years now. It's been a while. She was one of the first ones that we got. So she's definitely one of the most active in the museum.
I was just going to ask you that.
But so one experience that sticks up in the top of my head, and there's been a bunch. We needed to change a light bulb one day in the museum, and she's sitting in a chair. We tried recreating
How
the
many
same
dolls
space.
does it take to change the light?
I know, right? So we took her. I needed to borrow the chair to get up high enough, so I took her out of the chair and
Sat her down on this little section in the doll area.
Yeah, and we took the chair to change the light bulb, and it only took a couple of minutes, however long it takes to change the light bulb, and walked back, and she was gone. She wasn't sitting there anymore, and
went
so
up for
we're
a
like,
beer or
okay,
something.
yeah, I know, she went up for a drink, and so we came back, and we're like, okay, where'd she go? So she was about, I would say, 25, 30 feet away in the tribal section, just sitting on one of the spinning chairs that we usually do our live streams from, with her leg crossed and her arms, crossed, which is a pretty common occurrence. But the weird thing is, so I mentioned security cameras. I have no idea. I was very upset the day that this happened.
Most mad I'd ever seen you in my entire life.
For some reason, she's something that doesn't want to be on camera for some reason. She would have had to pass 2 cameras to get to the location that she's at. And I rewound the cameras. They didn't stop. The timestamp keeps going. Nothing.
I know.
What?
Huh? It's Cody knows and Satori that some of the things that happen in the paranormal is called when you like I'm going to remember the word.
Astral projection? She
No,
astral
not
project
astral,
herself
but
over
it's
there?
actually when you it's like a transportation. You have an object and it disappears and then it shows up somewhere else. right?
Teleportation, yeah.
So how do you know she didn't do that?
That's
might
what
as
I
well
like
could
to
have, yeah.
say. I said unless she crawled across that wall, she had to have teleported to get
See,
over
there
there.
you
That's
go.
what I always
Teleported.
say.
That's all this. I thought there was another cooler word for it. I'm sorry.
Might be,
Not
yeah.
that transporter
They
is
beamed her up.
cool. Yeah, it was.
Starship.
So I'm going to actually, Jolene here, honey, sweetheart.
What are you doing?
I'm going to ask if she wants to say anything. Can you? Here's my mic. You speak into the mic, dear Jolene. If you say anything today, I'll give you a cookie.
Uh-huh.
I have cookies.
Okay.
You better have cookies.
I hope she does.
She's going to haunt me. Few seconds.
I don't think so.
Oh, she bit me. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jolene.
Just like a zombie. Turns into a zombie. By the throat.
You should be so lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Kind of.
All right, so that's kind of cool, Jolene. So, I mean, we do have a lot of things.
Yeah, we have some other
A
things
fire
here,
truck?
too.
How can a fire truck be haunted?
I know, right? Exactly. That one came from Norristown, Pennsylvania. And it's probably one of the newest. We've had it for about 3 months now. And every object that comes into the museum goes into this quarantine period, we call it, where it sits for about 3 weeks,
so
and
cool.
we watch it and
Do you
monitor
have
it,
like
put
a
a camera on it.
quarantine chamber?
Kind of. I mean, yeah, it kind of is. It's separate from the rest of
Put
the
argon
museum.
gas in it.
We don't test it that much. No. But just some cameras and some, meters will do. And so this one sat in the quarantine period. And most objects, they don't do much when they're in this period. And we find that when you move an object from one location to another, I think it depends on the living energy again that's around the object and how much it is active. And we found that it also takes time to acclimate to its new environment. We had some objects that have taken about a year and a half to finally start acting up, which is weird. But this object, we've had it for about 2 months, so it just recently got out of its quarantine period. And the story behind this one, kind of sad, but came from Pennsylvania, and it was a mother and son. The mother and father were divorced, so the son, very young, would visit with his father every other weekend, I believe. But he went with his mother to a charity yard sale, I believe it was at a church, and he really wanted this fire truck. Something was drawing him into it, which we find very often.
Most of our cases.
Yeah, that people feel drawn in to purchase something. And so she paid the few dollars and got it for her son. They brought it home, and this was his toy. He would play with it every single day, and he absolutely loved it. And the mother started noticing that her kid was having a conversation with himself. It looked like he was talking to somebody that wasn't there. It looked like an imaginary friend, and that's all she thought it was, until he started saying things that he shouldn't have known about sickness. He kept saying that there's a boy that plays with this fire truck, and he's extremely sick, and he's wearing a dress with polka dots. So right away we thought, okay, hospital gown.
That makes
That's what it
sense.
sounds like.
I
So
thought it was a drag or something.
so we had a chance to interview the little boy, and he kept saying that he was very sick, and it was affecting his mental health, because he was starting to know things that he shouldn't know. So it was affecting his everyday life, and his mother was actually getting really worried about the situation. So the first thing we did was like, okay, call the church and see if they know where they got this stuff from, because everything has been donated to raise money. So they called and they said, well, we're not sure exactly where the truck came from, but a lot of the toys that we have were donated from the local hospital that they were getting rid of and replacing them. So I was like, oh, geez. So that's where I think it came from. I can't say 100%. But at the end of all
See,
this,
that's cool. You were absolutely legitimate about it. You said, okay, I think it's from it. That's good.
Yeah.
Because if it was on Facebook, they would say, oh, yeah, it's a haunted. It comes from this name. You know, the history. I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
giving you credit.
That's fine.
Thank you.
So yeah, other little things started happening in the house too. They would hear wheels rolling around the house, which was strange. And right away I started thinking, okay, could it be like an IV pole that they were hearing walking around? Because the kid was seeing, something that he described looked like that. It was a really strange case, and by the end of it, the kid didn't want the fire truck anymore, because he just didn't want it anymore. And the mother wanted it to go to a safe place where it would be taken care of if there is a child around it. But the interesting thing was, so when the child would go away to spend time with his father, the truck would be inactive. Nothing would be happening with it. But whenever her son would come home and play with it, or just be in the house, that's when things would start going on. The lights would start going off by themselves, and the sounds and everything else. So it seems like it was the kid that was acting as a trigger to bring whatever spirit played with this out, which was really interesting. So it seems like if there's not a kid around the object, or at least that individual, then the object isn't active.
Wow.
Now, that's a good point, because I was actually listening to you. Not that I
Imagine.
no, earlier, and also Satori, and you talked about how the energy from people, and maybe that's what we need. We produce electricity ourselves. And
Yes.
maybe it's the energy of our particular thing, and if there are particularly frequencies, everybody has a little frequency. Then maybe if you're the right frequency, it was able to go off and
Absolutely.
other people did.
Absolutely. And I think, most objects, when everybody thinks haunted objects. They think, okay, there's an object or a doll that's possessed by something.
Yeah,
There's
a
a spirit.
demon in it.
Right.
Zach would tell you that
And
anyway.
I know. No comment again. So a lot of people, they think that, you know, the spirit is trapped inside of the object or something. And I think a lot of the things that we have were just loved by somebody a lot when they were alive. And in death, especially with the family heirlooms that have been passed on, when they pass away, they just want to check in on it once in a while. And I think that's why you only have little bursts of activity here and there, because the spirit is just kind of checking in and see what's going on. And we found that sometimes, we believe, when something ends up in somebody else's hands, maybe they get it at a thrift store or something, and somebody, you know, really loved this before they died, they might not like whose hands that the object is in now, which kind of stirs up some activity. So it's a whole different thing, and it's a big rabbit hole that you dive down when you get a
when you
new
think
object.
about that as paranormal investigators, one of the theories, of course, is when somebody has a house and there's renovations going on, it increases the paranormal activity, because of course the spirit might not like the changes you make, or
Yeah.
they're used to it. So anyway, but
So,
we are
yeah.
getting down on time, so
We
I
need
want
to
to talk
find out
about some of these other objects.
The other stuff.
All right,
Yes.
cliff notes.
Quickly.
What about our angel?
Quickly, yes, I saw that you were looking at her. So she came from Massachusetts. We have given her the name Death Angel, and
Oh.
Oh, how sweet.
because of her story. So she came from a home in Massachusetts, a family. They had purchased this tree topper angel. It's old, about 70s, 80s, cardboard bottom, porcelain head and hands. They purchased her at a secondhand store and just put her on their Christmas tree. They thought she was a great addition. They went to bed after putting this angel on the Christmas tree. They woke up to the smell of smoke, but no fire alarms going off.
Oh my God.
They go downstairs to their Christmas tree completely up in flames. Thankfully, they had caught it. Then they take the angel off, and the wife, being very optimistic, is like, maybe this is a lucky angel. She somehow survived these fires, even though she's made of cardboard. Maybe she's just very lucky. The husband wasn't interested in the paranormal, but he couldn't figure out a logical explanation like wires or anything like that, because he was an electrician. So they put her back on a new tree, because it wasn't yet Christmas of that year, about 2019. They go to sleep, wake up to the smell of smoke again.
Oh,
the Christmas tree is
no.
on fire again.
So
So
she's sooty.
Yeah.
yes,
here.
she is.
Yeah.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
So
On her little
they
cheek
had
and her thing here.
so they had kind of put her in
Bottom
a
of her
box
dress.
and tried to forget about it until next year. 2020 wasn't great for any of us, but they hoped that it was a better year. They got a Christmas tree. They use all real Christmas trees. It's their tradition. And put her on the tree. And this time the fire was so bad that the house caught, the curtains caught.
My God.
They told us that it's an absolutely crazy story, but they were very hysterical telling us this. And she felt that it was no longer a good luck angel, but a cursed angel. And so she had given this item to us. She came covered in a substance like that, but we thought maybe it was mold or dirt, and we had cleaned her off and put her in the museum. Nothing happened until we did a live stream and said, well, she hasn't proved her claim yet. And I don't know if she took that as a warning, like, hey, you want to see?
God.
We go downstairs to a soot handprint across the wall, and her covered in soot like you see it. We can't really explain how or why. There was no fire in the museum. None of the smoke detectors went off. So we thanked her for proving her claim without causing any problems.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
she is definitely in the top 5.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call her a
Wow.
death angel. I'd call her more of a fire starter. You should name
Yes.
the little girl. Who's the little girl in Firestarter? Remember
Oh,
that
geez.
movie?
Yeah.
See, that's what you should name her.
I know,
Well,
right?
yes, the family, so we had taken the name Death Angel just because that is what the wife had pretty much called this angel, but we also call her the Angel of Fire because we think that that's a better name.
We are running out of time, unfortunately.
5 minutes.
Got a couple more bozos. Well,
So this little
Do
figurine,
you mind if I
probably
pick it up?
absolutely good. Probably
God,
made
I'm
by the
afraid
thousands.
to touch this
Yep.
angel now.
oh,
Yes, be
Gonna
careful, the
put her
soot will
over
come
there.
off.
So he was probably made by the thousands at one point, but for some reason this particular one has something with it. So gentlemen purchased
We'll
this.
take this off.
Yeah, you can take it
won't
off.
burst into flames.
No,
or
no,
anything.
no, no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Careful.
I like that endorsement. I don't think so.
The other.
So he purchased this at a secondhand store, and something again drew him into it. Magnetic feeling. He brought it home, places it on a
cute.
nightstand in his bedroom, and that night he wakes up early in the morning to this loud laughing happening in his room.
Oh my God.
And he can't figure out where it's coming from. He said it was coming from everywhere but from nowhere at the same time. Everywhere he thought it was coming from, it would come from the other direction.
cool.
So he happens to look over and sees this clown on his nightstand start sliding towards him, and he hooks it out of the house, grabs his keys, and drives 45 minutes to his brother's house and convinces him to let him in. The brother didn't believe him at all. And the next day, talks the brother in to come and pick up the clown. And he wraps it up in one of his T-shirts and puts it on the front steps. And then we got a call to come pick it up.
Yes, he hasn't
So you got a
proven
free
his claim
T-shirt
yet.
too, then.
Yeah, he got one of his T-shirts. Yeah.
We're honest, he hasn't proven his claim yet, but maybe one day he will. We hope he doesn't break when he does it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And
Now-
another clown, ironically.
Yes. Now, the last object we have is actually a toe tag that is supposed to be with the body.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
We have a couple of these, oddly
Really?
enough.
So-
Oh, that's cool.
So the woman that had found this toe tag, it was actually in her front yard. She noticed it while mowing the lawn, and it was in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. So she had taken this. She thought
Can
it was
I
a
touch it?
coin.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. She thought it was a coin, and she had gone in and saw the name of a cemetery on it and called the cemetery, and all they said was, well, that is supposed to be with a body, ma'am. We can't
Oh,
really tell you
Lord.
why it's in your front yard. We can't tell you who it belonged to, but since if the body's not there, we don't want to take it back. So she decided to keep it, and that's when a lot of activity started happening. She noticed shadows, footsteps, things of that nature, and it made her a bit uncomfortable. So we had taken this item from her home. The only thing we have to probably back up the story as to why it may be in the front yard is there was a hurricane in the mid-50s that kind of hit, well, 2 consecutive hurricanes that hit New England and actually dislodged many caskets in Rhode Island. And
my gosh.
caskets were floating down Main Street, going out into the
Ew.
oceans, things like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
in
yeah.
people's front yards. So we think that is probably the best bet as to why this toe tag ended up in her front yard. And we took it, and nothing else has happened since at her home. And we've seen many shadows around this object, but we can't exactly
Wow.
confirm if it's 100%. You
And
know?
it's so Swan Point, which is a very nice, it's a very ornate cemetery down in
Yeah.
It's a
Providence.
garden cemetery?
Yeah, it's like a, and I don't think they let you take pictures there. That's how I know
Really?
about it. No, I think so. Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is annoying.
That
but,
is strange.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw Swan Point, and
Yep.
I'm fairly certain, Providence, Rhode Island, I'm fairly certain that is that cemetery.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, that's super creepy.
So do you make the displays
That's-
for these guys?
Really creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep. Everything.
awesome.
At least a lot of the displays aren't for the objects per se, but for people and especially with the temperature controlled things and stuff like that, more to protect the object from living people than
Oh, sure.
than
Right.
a spirit getting out or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean, for instance, the tag, if someone was to touch it, then they would leave all their oils and stuff on it. And
Sorry.
start to disintegrate the metal, and
Oh
it would
my
tarnish, and who knows?
Who knows?
Not counting, I mean, I wouldn't,
Well, right. Well, I asked. I said, can I touch
yeah, I
it?
know, he doesn't
It was
care.
somebody's yard for who knows how many years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I were
We-
you, I would put some alcohol on your
Okay.
hands there.
Hand sanitizer, got some.
Hand sanitizer.
Got that.
Yeah.
But we do have to wrap things up.
We do?
We do,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
we
great
just got
talk.
our.
You guys
I
are great.
know.
You're awesome, really.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I enjoyed.
We're so happy that you could come on the show and be our first
How can people
live
find
guest
out more about
since
you
COVID.
quickly?
ParanormalCouple.com or theparanormalcouple.com, at least at the same place, and Facebook at Paranormal Couples Haunted Museum. Easy.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Oh my
And
goodness.
you can become a member
Be
of
a
the museum too,
Patreon,
so don't miss
Patreon,
out
no,
there.
we're over here.
Patreon. I don't know.
We're over here, we're over there. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
And-
you.
and it
Thank
was
you for
just
having us.
wonderful having you, and this was really a lot of fun, and maybe they can come back another time and bring some more haunted items. I don't know.
I won't be able to sleep
Yeah.
tonight.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, good night and God bless.
And we will see you next month with our Halloween special. Good
Huh?
night.
From ghoulies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.